Hi everybody. Welcome to the show. Today is episode 23rd, May Dye Project. The long guys just finished at the house, not the next door, but the next door. So I was gonna go, and then my husband is now on a work call, and then I feel like I've got an IBS attack coming up, so I wanted to get in here quickly and maybe give you a short episode, as long as I can hold out for. So what I'm wearing Ruth. I'm wearing Ruth, guys. Ruth, cashmere, Tina's Twisted Fibers in Harlot. This is the cashmere sock base. Ruth is still in testing with one tester. Hillary's up on the website, so if you want to check out Hillary. Next I've got Carrie coming out. She's not finished. When she's finished, she'll be out, and then Hillary, Carrie, Michelle, and Ruth are coming out in that order. Michelle is, none of them are. Ruth's written up, and Hillary's written up. And then pretty much I just gotta go in those files and make copies and then just put in the new, because they're all so similar. Anyway, I'm not sure if there's a schedule of them coming out. I might just do it as I finish them. Maybe do like every Friday. I'll put out, maybe if I finish Carrie, today's Wednesday, so today's Friday. Maybe check and see if Carrie has been released, because she might be. Speaking of, let's go right into whips, because do have some finished items, but they work into what we're talking about later. So here's Carrie, guys. I have 20 grams left, and we just hit 14 mesh holes. So home stretch. So I got about 10 grams of more holes, and then we'll finish. So you know what? It's Wednesday. She'll probably, depending on how bad this IBS attack is going to be, she might be done today, and then block tomorrow, and then okay, so she won't be released Friday because okay, here's the thing. On Friday I'm getting my second COVID shot. So I'm kind of not planning anything for that weekend, even though I have a shawl to do, just in case anything happens. And I'm not up for doing things. I guess I could write Carrie up. She's very simple. I could write her up before Friday and have her out. So you know what? Watch my Instagram. But probably next Friday would be better. Plus my birthday's Monday, so I kind of, and leading up to the COVID shot, I'm real nervous. So I kind of, if I want the distraction, I'll write her up. If I need to retreat, then I'm not going to. How's that for a deal? So either this, while you're watching this, if you want to go by and check, see if she's out. If not, she'll be out. I'll plan next Friday to release her. That way I have plenty of time to get to. Oh, I gotta keep my phone on. I'm waiting for a call. Yeah, we're at 14 mesh holes, 20 grams left. So we could probably, if I don't have it done today, I'll have it done tomorrow, and then I'll block it. Maybe, I don't know, because it doesn't have to be blocked till I take pictures for the thing. So I'm sorry, I'm super tired today. I had bad stuff happening in my kitten fostering. Are you serious? Now another neighbor's doing their lawn. I swear, guy. And it's raining. What are you doing? Or is it wet? It's cold. Anyway. Okay, what I'm going to do is you're not yet. First, we're going to talk about, this is the Michelle version of Eleanor. She actually has a different name. And next week, I'm going to introduce you to all four since they're now finished. They're now finished. Well, they're all finished on worsted weight. I still have to redo them on fingering weight before they'll be released. So this is what she looks like. And you know, she's pretty much, because it is garter, I'm not sure there's a right side and a wrong side. So you can kind of pick, I would look towards the end here on your point, that how you're going to wear it, because that can go either way. Just pick whichever one you like. But what we did here was, for Michelle, what I decided to do is what I did for the other one was instead of going by weight, and I still finished by weight and I still kept track of weight all throughout, I do 2-inch. So I do 2-inch garters, then I make the mesh 2.5 inches, and then 2 inches, 2.5 inches. And that worked pretty well for me for the other one, but I didn't know how, that one I just stopped when I wanted to. I'm not really sure how I did that one. I actually don't really remember. So when we got down, so that ended up being 8 ridges and 6 mesh holes. And then when we got, so we did that 5 times. Then on the 6th one, we had the 8. And I just like to have on my edge, I like to have more mesh holes at the end. So we had, I didn't count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 mesh holes. And then we did, now I counted the return from the last mesh hole as a garter ridge, because this has a really thick edge, being worsted weight. So there's the return of the mesh hole, and then there's one more garter ridge, and then there's the bind off. So that gives you 2 2 garter ridges, and then your bind off, which I think worked perfect. Great edge, not too much, not too little. So that back, so we actually really only did 1 garter ridge for this one, which also in the green one it'll be the same. That back one is gonna, that back pass is gonna count as your first ridge, and you're only gonna do 2 ridges. So this one we worked until I had 649. And we ended, I don't know what one, 123. We did have quite a bit left over for this one. 1 gram 23. This came out perfect. What are her measurements? She's the biggest of the 4, obviously, because the mesh gives you more. So she is 56 inches along the top, 39 on each side, and then her depth is, I didn't write it down. I did not write it down. This much. So my whole arm, pretty long. Well, oh, you know what? I know. I know this one's 24. So let's see. Yeah, I think that one's 24. So we're pretty close to 24. So pretty much got full size on this one. So next week I'll go over all 4. I will give you their names. It's going to withhold the names. I'm not gonna tell you the names. And we'll go over the whole thing, and then I'm also going to do on their release, I'm going to do a standalone video that shows all the different property. It'll be probably pretty much what I'm going to show you next week. So it'll be like a quick little run through for me. So this is Strawberry Guava from Willow Yarns. It's a really, really pretty color. It's like a berry. It's a dark berry. It's very nice. Set you back there. Okay, I'll bring this one forward because it's kind of dark, but here is April Die Project. Okay, that's not the one I'm transporting. So here is, what did we name this? Without Shame. It's my favorite. I just love how it looks. So like I could see this just really looking great on something that doesn't have so much contrast, you know, like, oh gosh, it's my absolute favorite. I just think it's so I love these bits, you know, not quite the stripe, like, because here's a stripe, this is double, but that one where it's just the one in between all that black, I love how it looks. I love how it worked up real asymmetrical too, like it looks like a tiger, and I love it. I don't know what it is with me, those tiger stripy looking shawls, but this is by far my favorite. I thought the blue, where are you here? I thought this one was my favorite, and it is. I mean, if I had both of these in colors that I liked, I don't know that I'd be able to pick. But I love that they're all so similar but also different at the same time. I'm really glad we did this experiment. But this is my favorite probably because it has the most black. And I'm really excited to make this in like a variegated, like a dark variegated. Just that little 15 inches. Really excited for that. So anyway, oh, you want the dimensions? So Without Shame. So we had 0.70 left over. Awesome. We worked her until 11:57, and it's supposed to be 10, but I couldn't get in another because it's a 2-row repeat, so you have to come back. And I couldn't. Well, actually, you really wouldn't have to if you want to do, if you wanted to do garter on the wrong side, like if you really, because all that happened was we couldn't do an extra pair. We couldn't do an extra 2-row stockinette. So instead, I started the garter, and then after our third garter ridge, we had one right side row. That just set us up for the bind off. It doesn't make a difference. You really can't tell between the two. When when they're finished, you can't tell. And so we had enough for one more row, but not a 2-row repeat. So that's fine. But if you wanted to, you could purl on the right side. If you wanted to get, is that like a reverse garter? If you purl, because you would have to purl on the right side and then purl on the wrong side, because if you're going to knit on the right side, knit on the wrong side is garter. So reverse garter would be purl on the right side, purl on the wrong side. So if you wanted to purl those before doing your bind off to get, if you didn't have enough yardage, you could do that. I mean, that's perfectly, I wouldn't do that because I hate purling. So no, I'd rather do an extra knit row. But let's see, her measurements were 60 across, 41 each side, and then her depth is 24 inches. So I think that's pretty standard. Did I take, March 39, 39, 27, and then 27, 27. I'm going to mess that up because 7 and 7 is 14 plus 1, 57. So that one was a little bit bigger. I think it might depend on the yardage. The yardage of, I didn't write that down. I wrote that down somewhere. I don't have it down here either. Because everything gets weighed as soon as it gets, it must be somewhere else. Why? I don't get, hello, why? Oh, because I think I made a mess of my notes, so I rewrite that, but that's weird that I should have left that on there. Okay, so, did Michelle will introduce the 4/8 rated sex cells by type 6? Okay, so that's April's die project. So we've seen April's die project. So let me introduce you to our final die project, May die project. We're still dyeing each month. Don't get that, but this is the last of the shawls in these things that we're comparing and working up on Hillary because I'm insane. So this is the last one. This I have named Alone and Awake. This is 3/4 color. Okay, so this was 1/4 color. This is 3/4 color. So hopefully it will be the exact opposite of this. We'll see. Which would be cool if we had a really deep dark variegation that we wanted to do and then have that 1/4 black. See, I was thinking there. But for contrast purposes, we're going to have, now this looks like, it looks like February's. It's not. I promise you. February, oh my God, they look the same. They are not the same. February is a red burgundy. This is berry. This is berry. This is how it looks. It's a berry. This is not a berry. It is a true dark red. God, they just look exactly the same, don't they? They're not the same. It's like a burgundy, kind of a brownish red, dark red, brownish dark red. Kind of like dried blood almost, but not quite. A little bit redder than dried blood. This is full-on berry. Berry. Okay, so I'm so excited to see how this works up. I really, really am. Because it's going to be complete opposite. So all of this black is going to be red, which means we're going to have little black things running through it. which I think is gonna look great if we have a nice dark variegation, and then we can add a little bit of black to it. I think it's gonna look really cool. Anyway, our whiteboard is back, and we're gonna do some math. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm getting closer because I'm gonna come over this side so I can look at what I'm saying too. Okay. May Dyed Project. Alone and Awake. It's what I've called it. I do have a reason for, like, there is you know, a reason for why they're called what they are. That may or may not ever be revealed. I like to keep secrets. Anyway, so this is a 1/4 black, which means 3-color quarter, right? So for a 3/4 color, I chose pink, 1%. So a 3/4 pink at 1% equals 75 grams. Can you see this? 75 grams. 3/4 pink at 1% is 75 grams. So this pink is 75% dark magenta and 25% teddy bear brown, which you've not seen before. See, sometimes the black is too harsh and doesn't give me the color I want, and the brown is just enough to darken it enough and then give me a warmer version of the color. So you go into your phone and you say, Google, what is 75% of 75? It's 0.56. Google, what is 25% of 75? It's 0.19, which I'm pretty sure we've seen these. I should have put a little percentage here. And if you add 0.56 with 0.19, you get 75. Yay! We won. Okay, so that was done with 75 grams of color. And then the quarter black, 3%. Remember, we dye bare yarn at 3%. Sometimes 4%. It really depends on. Sometimes that's 4. But for these purposes, I just did 3. 1/4 black and 3%. So 1% would be 0.25 grams, right? Because 1/4 is 0.25. And then I times it by 3 to give me 0.75 grams. So we had the same amount of dye. Isn't that neat? So I feel by now this is just too easy for you. So I just cordoned off, like I said. I keep meaning to bring in one to show you with my things. So I put one in the top. I put a clip in the top, and then I put a clip at the bottom. And then I do the same thing. I put this so that the clips are equal, and then I put another clip in the top and a clip at the bottom. And this one might have dyed weird. No, I think we're okay, because that's about half. But I mean, you can't get it's really hard to get a full line, because look at this. Come on, do you see that? At the joins, got a lot of unworked color. Because the chip clips aren't the best thing to use, and I don't know what else to use. So, let's see, there's some more. And you really don't want it to move around too much because then it goes through. So I'm trying to figure out a better way to do those, but I mean that's pretty half. Can you see that that's half skein? See, then I'm going, it's too dark, you can't see. It's half skein. This will be the last one. I'm excited that it's the last one. I'm hoping that it will pretty much look like this in reverse, which will be, my stomach, which will be neat to compare and see if they are opposites, maybe. Opposites. So that's literally all I have for you, and we're 26 minutes in. So what else we have going is I'm going to start dye projects, finish Carrie, and then this, remember, is going to be our fingering weight Eleanor, and this is a half and half dye pattern. So we'll see how half and half works up fingering on Eleanor. The rest of this month I have plans to do my third series. So this is the fingering triangles are the first series of one skein shawls. That's my second series, which is the bias garters. And then the third series I'm going to start this weekend, which for you will be tomorrow. If you're watching this when it comes out Friday, it will be tomorrow. So next week, that one will be unveiled, hopefully. And it'll be the straight stockinette version, no frills. It'll basically be like this, but in DK with some changes so I can make it DK. I have not decided which yarn I'm going to use. I have a few different yarns. I'm not sure if these are going to be like these ones. These willows are prototypes. They will not be shown in the pattern. Well, that one might, and the pink one might. The Eleanor version of Ruth might, because that's a Cascade 220 Merino Superwash, and that one came out so pretty that I might put. I might, but the rest are like green and are not so pretty, so I might redo those because, okay. I'm trying to be mindful of what gets put in the actual pattern, because that is a document that is going to be, once people download it, it's out of my hands. So that's why all of the Hillarys had pictures of my yarns. Or did we do any of... No, we didn't do any Tina's. These were all my yarns. So all the Hillarys that were pictured were on my yarn. So any yarn that's going to go in my pattern is going to be credited. And I would rather not credit big giant stores or big giant brands like Willow or Cascade. I would rather highlight indie dyers, because I am a struggling indie dyer. I would like to help other indie dyers, even though I have I don't have a lot of followers. I don't have really a lot of reach anywhere, but I don't want to just give credit to big giant things. So I haven't decided for the other two. They're all going to be Eleanor. I have to do in fingering weight. We already know that. So first Eleanor in fingering weight is my yarn. This will be featured in the pattern. Picture wise, I'm saying picture wise, pictures. So if I'm putting a picture of a shawl in my pattern, I want to be able to credit that yarn, and I want it to be an indie dyer or me, obviously. So I'm trying to be careful who I choose to be. I'm making an effort here, and I've already reached out to a couple design, like Tina's Twisted Fibers. I've asked her, and she said, duh, of course. Like Ruth, this is featured in the pattern, and Michelle is also featured in the pattern. And they might be the only ones. No, this is going to, remember, I'm going to take some pictures of this one, because remember, I wanted Ruth done in this yardage. So there will be a picture of this too. And this. I also reached out to Mitchell's Creations, and they said, for sure, go ahead. And I know I don't have to ask people, but I wanted to ask before I use their stuff and put it in my pattern. And if at any time they want them taken out of their pattern, I will pull my pattern down and rework it with my own yarns. That's fine. And I just wanted to, I don't want to use anybody's stuff without their permission, just because, like, if you don't want to be associated with me, cool. No worries. So I do have some worsted and DK. Because see, like, I don't know, should I put those on worsted or DK? Should I put these on worsted or DK? Like, I don't know what. I'm making this in DK just because I have some DK that's in the right yardage, and I haven't done DK yet. I don't know. I mean, I figure the full versions, okay, like this Hillary is going to take up the most, this Hillary is going to be the smallest of all the shawls. This Hillary, Carrie, Michelle, Ruth, this will be the smallest. Well, not this one, because this is on less yardage, but because of its straight stocking net. There's no lace to pull it out, to open it up. Actually, that's what May's dye project is going to tell me, if this is the smallest one. I know Eleanor, too, out of the series 2 Eleanor's the smallest one. So I figure if I make Eleanor on my worsted base, which I already did, if I make her on a DK base, which is not yet planned, and I make her in a sport weight, which is also not yet planned, and make her in the fingering weight, I will get the smallest version of what that Eleanor, the smallest version of these shawls will be, because this is the smallest version, because it's just garter. So the 3 other ones make bigger shawls. So I already know that because I've done that. So that means I can do Eleanor in each of the weights and yardages that I want to do. And we will know then that if you do the same gauge, any of the other ones you make will be bigger than that. So how much bigger is up to you. You could even make this bigger than what I'm giving you if you want to change your gauge. So we have that understood, right? So for my 3rd series, which is stocking net for, what did I say? Sport, DK, worsted, And I think Aaron and possibly Bulky could work in what I have planned here. I'm still going to try. I don't know if Aaron will work in this because when I made my, well, that was in the brioche one. It wasn't in this one. Okay, so I'm probably going to try this also later in the year when we get closer to the end, because then I only have to make 2 shawls in Aaron and Bulky to try. So I think I'm going to start these in DK because I have a bunch of DK and just see where that leaves us, and then I'll try one in a worsted and see how big of a difference we get from the worsted. I'm wondering though if we should try it in worsted because I know my gauge in worsted, if we should just go worsted all the way. But that means undoing all these shawls because I don't have enough worsted. That's why I'm not doing it. I'm just going to do DK because I don't have enough. Unless I put in an order. I don't think I have 4 more skeins of willow. Well, I will have 1 if I redo the asymmetrical version of this. Maybe I should do them all in willow so we have at least that in common. I'll think about it. Because I know for sure I'm going to offer worsted and DK in my shop, so I do want to do some DK and see where that leads us. And then I'll only have to make 1 worsted in that to see where it goes. But my point is, the first one we make, which is going to be solid stockinette, is going to be the smallest of the other designs because there's no lace. So as long as that one is big enough, we should be able to extrapolate that data of how big the other ones will be. Do you know what I mean? So if you're using the same thing. So the Eleanor and then the stockinette version of this, which I guess is called Malela. I'll give you that. The stockinette version of this, if it works out, is going to be named Malela. And she is the blueprint for, the base for the other 3 ones, which will be the Michelle, the Ruth, and the Carrie. And those all have new names too. So we have 2 new sets with new names. But I will start that Saturday as long as I'm feeling well enough from my vaccine to do it. Shouldn't be hard. It's very simple. It's going to be mindless stockinette on DK, so shouldn't take too long either. Really about done with this fingering. Now these fingering Eleanor's shouldn't take me too long because all those that I made, if you remember the very first video I did where I showed you all of them, that's from the All About That brioche, and this is a different pattern. But I don't imagine they're going to take me, I think those took me 4 full days of work, so 8 half days, which is pretty standard, 8 days for a shawl. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm just going to take it day by day and do what I can. Oh my God. I feel like I'm in a coma today. What the hell? Here's what happened. This kitten season has been really, really hard for me. And, I want to spare you how hard fostering is, how hard it is, and the really terrible things you see that hurt your heart because you're trying to help. The whole purpose that you're in, if you're in animal rescue, the whole purpose is to rescue animals. So when bad stuff happens and you're doing all you can and it doesn't make a difference, it's really hard to keep going, and it's really hard to keep your head up, and it's really hard to think you can keep going. It's really hard to, you go, how am I going to keep doing this? How am I going to keep to, but you're going to, because they're going to keep calling you and saying, we need your help. We need you to take these babies and do your best. Even when nature is already disagreeing with you, working against you. Anyway, I'm trying so hard to be upbeat, but I'm getting my second shot and I'm scared to death. I'm going to have to EMDR beforehand. I'm probably going to have to take some time in EMDR each day until I got Wednesday, Thursday. I'll probably have to take both days to EMDR some crap so I can let them jab me with some more stuff. Like I said, next week I'll be introducing you to the Series 2 shawls and their names, since I don't have anything to do for that episode. Still nowhere on the opening. My sunroom is cleaned out. If you were on Instagram, you saw some pretty pictures and a video of Deckard serenading us with his honking pig that he loves so much. It's great because he kills the squeaker in 20 minutes, so it's like we all have a headache for 20 minutes and he's the happiest ever. My dye station is not cleaned up because it's been freezing. It's still been cold. I can't get in there. I mean, I can get in there, but we were in there huddled under blankets because I wanted to be in it so bad. But soon it's going to be too hot, and then I'm going to be complaining that I can only work early in the morning because then it gets too hot. So I don't know how far back the soft open will be pushed, but it doesn't matter because I was getting myself down on deadlines I had set for no reason at all. No reason. So I was starting to stress myself out too much. So I've decided to pull back and reassess and go, I can go at my own pace. And now that we're on our last Hillary, thank goodness. Because I really don't mind the fingering Eleanor's. All that. I think it's the purling that gets me. I don't know. But those don't bother me as much. The fingering Eleanor's don't bother me. Well, actually, I've never made one before. This is going to be the first. So next week, Carrie will be finished as a shawl, and I will probably be announcing that her pattern will be available for download. That's my big plan. I'm going to work on that, and then as soon as that's done, I'm going to start up May's dye project. And then when that's going, when Carrie's done, I start up dye project. I will start fingering weight Eleanor, and we should be well on our way. We have a ton of projects to get through this month. I think we've already finished the one shawl. We've already got one finished item for May that was done in 2 days. So I don't think I'm going to have any problem getting those ones done over the weekends. Hopefully. Fingers. Did you know you can double cross fingers? My husband showed me this the other day. I can't do it. I had to really mentally, I couldn't do it. But that was a funny thing that happened in our house one night. It was hilarious. And I was like, that's possible? And then I'm like, because I didn't want to use my other finger to do it. I wanted, come on. Yes. I didn't know there were people that could do that with both. Oh, my left hand. No, there's no way that's going to happen. Will it? Oh, come on, just a little bit more. Oh, you can't even see it. See my brain trying? Can you see my brain trying to do it? Oh, we got it. Guys, we got it. Look at that. It's so weird. Guys, are you watching Debris? Tell me you're watching Debris. Tell me you watched the two-parter. I love that show. I can't get over the show. Alternate realities just drive me up the wall. Like, it is my favorite thing in the world to like imagine alternate realities, because I always imagine that there is an alternate reality where X-Files is real and I am Dana Scully. Like, that is the alternate reality where I am born well and to different parents, or my parents weren't terrible or whatever, and could raise a functioning child, and where I could like be trusted with a handgun, and could, investigate aliens and shit. That'd be awesome. Oh my god, that would be so cool. But at least there's an attorney me out there happy, hopefully working for like single moms and stuff, or the ACLU. I wanted to be a lawyer for the ACLU. I'm not even kidding. That's what I wanted to be. Now I do yarn. Yay. Save animals. Make dog sweaters. Anyway, I hate my life. No, I'm just kidding. I don't. I sometimes do. Today is a day that I dislike my life very much. But that's okay, because I have a few more days of it being terrible, and then hopefully after my birthday, everything will be fine and back to normal, where I can at least crack jokes, right? I feel like my last few episodes, I've been down in the dumps, and I don't know why. But I'm really excited. Like, we're closing in on, you know what it is? I'm overworked. I'm just there's too much in my mind, and I'm doing too many things. I'm trying to design all these things, and I want to get them all out of my head because they're taking up all that space. So now I got those out. So now all I got to do is the last 3. Still not sure about the yarns. I'm going to sit down because I am like freaking out about the yarns. I think I need to sit down and get that out of my head. Anyway, is this what I've been waiting for? Yes, it is. Okay. I'm gonna sign off. Look at this. You're out under an hour again. Yippee! So, yeah, there's nothing else to say, is there? You're watching Debris. You're loving it just like me. Went over dye projects. So, we actually have kind of 2 dye projects, because this one we haven't seen worked up. I'm excited to see how this worked up, because this is a half and half with the rest is speckled. So that almost will have us see how variegations will work up. But I'm really excited to like have these worked up in some stuff. Okay, here's my last thing that I'm going to talk to you about. And help me decide, because, okay, for our 3rd series, then I'm working these up in DK, right? DK, Sport, DK, Worsted, Aran, Bulky maybe. So these don't have to be out soon. I don't want these to be out until like the fall. So I have plenty of time. I just want to make sure they work before I have to deal with it. So I'm thinking we'll put these out maybe September. Is that before October? September? Like each Friday in September, because there's 4. We'll release one. And maybe by that time I can have them in. I'm trying to figure out what weight I should write it up in. Because, wait, we're going to do a page for each. Right. Okay. So that doesn't matter. I can make them up in anything. I can even pull those out and remake them in that worsted. But I'm wondering what I should, if I should include some of my own yarns. Maybe for the cash, Maybe for the the Aran weights, because I don't have any Aran weight except for my own Aran weights. So maybe I'll work up some Aran weight, and then we can have my own designs. And by September, we should certainly have some colorways that we could put in. That's what I'm gonna do. Woo! Putting that posterity here to remember to rewatch this video if I forgot. So someone point me to this if I forgot. Okay. I have no idea what's happening. It's every other day at Morning Dew Studios. Nobody has any clue. Nobody knows what's going on. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Take care of yourselves. See you next week. Bye.